agenda, executive on the first floor of 45 Gordon Road, Manning Tower, Brockton, Mass. 02301. This is a special session of the Board of Directors. This is a public hearing, and all are invited to attend in person or on Zoom. There is a hearing of visitor section in the agenda. Please note that all Brockton Housing Authority meetings are recorded. This meeting has been posted at City Hall and also on our website. We are in compliance with the 48-hour notice. I am now going to call a roll for quorum. Timothy J. Sullivan, Chair, is here. Vice Chair Ernest Pettiford is sick and in the hospital. Janet R. Trapp, member.
Here.
Carol Roberts, Treasurer.
Here.
Assistant Treasurer Taylor Harris. She's coming in late.
She said she should be a couple minutes late.
Even with her coming in late, we still have a quorum. You are hereby given notice that the members of the Brockton Housing Authority are called to meet in a special session on Thursday, November 21st, 2024 at 2 p.m. in the Mayor Bill Tavern Executive Boardroom, Manning Tower, 45 Gordon Road, first floor, Brockton, Mass. 02301. I'm just going to read off the governor's COVID-19 memo. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and state of emergency, on March 12, 2020, Governor Baker issued an executive order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. General Laws, Chapter 38, Section 20. Pursuant to the order, public bodies are temporarily relieved from the open meeting laws requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate and alternative means. That was extended to April 1st, 2021, extended again to April 1st, 2022, extended again till July 1st, 2022, extended again till July 15th, 2022, extended again to March 31st, 2023 by Governor Charlie Baker, and extended again on March 31st, to March 31st, 2025 by Governor Maury Haley. This meeting/hearing of the Brockton Housing Authority will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting/hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in any specific item on this agenda can make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. The public is invited to view and/or listen to the meeting via phone, computer, laptop, or tablet. To do so, download the Zoom Cloud Meeting app in any app store or at www.zoom.us at 2 p.m. on November 21st, 2024. Click on Join the Meeting and enter meeting ID number 818-7887-7906. Passcode 988535. Or use the link http://zoom.us/i/818-788-77906. You may also join by calling conference line at 1-646-558-8656 at 2 p.m. on November 21st, 2024, and enter meeting ID 818-788-77906, passcode 988535, followed by the pound sign. The board chair will instruct participants on appropriate time and manner for public comment during this meeting. If you could all please rise, if you can, remove your hats and silence your phones for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mr. Tebow, will you get back?
Commissioner Trask,
Here.
Commissioner Roberts,
Here.
Mr. Chairman.
Here.
And I see, it looks like Commissioner Harris has just joined us.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm here. Thank you.
Item 2, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of October 24th, 2024. Item A in the packet. People,
I have reviewed the minutes and found them to be in order. I would recommend that they be approved as written.
So moved.
Second.
motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of October 24th, 2024 as written. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Trask,
Here,
Commissioner Harris,
Here.
Commissioner Roberts,
yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried. Unanimous. Item 3, hearing of visitors. Any member of the public is invited to speak before the board. Visitors wishing to be heard must sign in with name, address, and contact number before the start of the meeting. Each visitor will be allowed 3 minutes to speak on each subject. The board will take any issues under advisement and respond at a later date. Total time for hearing of visitors will be limited to 15 minutes, which will be strictly enforced. There will be no passing your 3 minutes to another. All visitors can be heard on agenda items only. Is there any hearing of visitors?
Don't see any guests here, and I do not see anybody signed for it here, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Moving on to item 4, correspondence. People,
There is no correspondence this month, Mr. Chairman.
perfect. Item 5, approval of the bill for the special meeting of November 21st, 2024, exhibit C in the package. Commissioner Roberts.
Thank you. I've gone over the bills with Tanya and I found, the questions that I had were answered and everything is in satisfactory order. And I move to accept the billing as it is.
Second,
Motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Garrett Krabs. Motion is to approve the bills for the special meeting of November 23rd, 2024, as presented. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 6, appointment of tenant selection leasing agent, exhibit C in the packet. Mr. Tebow.
If I could ask Mr. Fluff to speak on this, please.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow. Members of the board. This is a promotionary position for Ms. Machani. When Dawn Ogden was promoted to office manager after the retirement of Linda Mallard, her position of tenant selection leasing agent became vacant. Laura has worked for the Housing Authority full-time since 2018 and in the admissions department for the last 7 months. Before that, she was in the Section 8 department. Before that, she had worked for us part-time at Campello, helping in the office with recertifications. You can see from her resume, she has her associate's degree in computer science. She's planning this fall to go back to school to continue to get her bachelor's. Mrs. Rose, who's the head of the department, says she's doing a great job. The role of tenant selection leasing agent is the person after Mrs. Rose says that this is who it is off the list, puts the file together, shows the person the apartment, puts the lease together, takes the deposit, makes sure all the forms that are required get signed. so that we have a proper release and everything's all set in the file to send over when the person gets tendered. So Laura's been helping out in this process. She's been a clerk in the admissions department, and she's been helping out in this process while that position has been vacant. But recommend her more wholeheartedly.
I would like to add to that, that her previous supervisors have given for wonderful reviews. She is a team player. She works very well with our applicants and with the participants in the Section 8 program. And when she was at Campello, she was well thought of by all the residents. So she not only is a very bright woman, she has a computer background also. She helps out with that, but she's well respected by her coworkers and residents.
And I'm sorry, I could just add, she is bilingual, and when Mr. Tebow said that she's willing to help out, during COVID, we had to have so many notices posted all over the place all the time. She was doing all our Spanish translation to make sure that our documents got up in Spanish.
Which one is Flora?
Flora,
Right there.
Oh, right there.
this is the fourth time Flora's been before you. Once she was appointed,
Yeah.
then when she was promoted in Section 8. Oh, here's Dawn to support. Dawn is the office manager in Section 8. Mrs. Rose is on vacation today.
And Commissioner Roberts and Commissioner Trask, excuse me, probably remember Flora from the Christmas party as the best dressed.
Oh, yeah.
What a spirit.
Yeah,
And another Campello gal.
yeah.
We need a motion and a second, item 6.
So move.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to appoint Flora Martini of Brockton to the position of tenant selection leasing agent effective November 25th, 2024 at the 2024 step 1 rate of $53,074 per annum. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, people.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries.
Congratulations, Flora.
Congratulations, Flora.
It's a very nice resume also,
Yeah.
Flora. Very well done.
Thank you.
I gotta read off a statement. I'll wait till the other one comes in as well for both girls. Item 7, appointment of clerk typist, exhibit D in your packet. Mr. Tebow.
I could ask Mr. Flip to speak on this, please.
This is a position at Sullivan Towers, helping out Ms. Lawler, who's here, who's the asset manager at Sullivan, plus a number of other developments that are in her portfolio. If you remember, Jen Monahan, who was her clerk, was promoted into the state voucher coordinator in the Section 8 department. And so that we had a vacancy there. And so we posted we've had a clerk's opening posted since January, and it's been a rolling number of clerks that we've been hiring. As they said yesterday with the economist at the Chamber of Commerce luncheon, hiring is still difficult. But we think we found a gem here. Jillian Lubador is from Brockton. She has a very good resume. She impressed the committee with her maturity and her energy. She is bilingual to some degree. She is conversant in American Sign Language. And we don't have anybody. And
That's a plus.
just last week, Mrs. Rose down in admissions had to hire a company to bring somebody in for a applicant. And she got a company through through DHCD, HLC.
And she's fluent in Hebrew too, it says.
We
Ah,
don't have many applicants or residents who speak only Hebrew and not English. It may come in handy. So a clerk's job is the face of the authority in that development. Has to be ready and willing to deal with the residents empathetically, but also ready to require that the paperwork be submitted
Yep.
and do accurate calculations. So there's a balancing act there. And we feel Joanne will be able to handle that with ease. So the committee easily recommends Joanne for this position.
And I wholeheartedly support the recommendation. Jillian is a person, as Mr. Plus said, of high energy, intellect, and I think she will do very well and have a great future at the Housing Authority.
What development she's gonna be at?
Sullivan
that
Towers
was-
is where the office is located, but the portfolio includes both federal and state, elderly and family.
Okay,
So it's a whole range.
we need a motion and a second. Item 7.
So moved?
second,
Motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Kraft, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to appoint Jillian Labuda of Brockton to the position of clerk typist effective December 9, 2024, at the 2024 step 1 rate of $45,263 per annum. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Harris,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously.
Congratulations, Jillian.
This is, I'm gonna read this off for both of you. This is not an easy job. We, the Board of Commissioners and the executive team, put our residents first. They are our number one priority. Without them, we don't need me, this board, buildings, or the staff. Please remember to treat our residents with respect. We also say that anyone can have a bad day, be a little sharp or argumentative for no apparent reason. If this should happen to you, please smile and walk away. Don't argue. We can all strive to be a better person. If you can do this, go far in this agency. I am very glad to meet you and welcome you to the team. The board meets once a month in this room on many different subjects. Please feel free to attend if one of these items is of interest to you. Wonderful, we shake your hand. Thank you.
welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jillian.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Mr. Chairman, if I may be excused with these candidates.
yeah.
All that again. Tom,
Mhm.
one question. Is that a new word?
Excuse me,
Promotionary?
maybe. I might have made it up today.
Item 8, report of agreed upon procedures, exceptions, exhibit E in your packet.
So each year, we have auditors come in and they check our books and they check how we recertify people, they check our procedures. One of the procedures they do is they check how we account for people's time. For the past 35 years since I've been here, we have passed that with flying colors. In 2017, the state, at that time DHCD, now the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, passed agreed upon procedures, and they were very prescriptive. And so when they came down and looked at us, they said, well, you're supposed to have timesheets that everybody fills out every day and signs, and at the end of the week you turn in. And we said, well, we do that every day. We have an accounting for everybody who's here every day. And we believe your system is much less effective and efficient for us. we provided, as you see, our processes, how we do that. I just described them. I spoke to our auditor who said, you know, this is unique only to Massachusetts. Your system is what most larger housing authorities do. But the state just says, well, we do it one way and we're not going to make any exceptions for anybody. So you're all right, but we just want to, we're going to let you know. So this is just to put on file that the board has been made aware of this issue, that you can come in and check our records at any time. They reconciled. We are very, very diligent about making sure that if someone is supposed to be here, they're here. And we get daily reports from every department who is here. Their system would report afterwards. You sign it the next week. And when I asked, I said, who checks to see what they did on Tuesday? You know, they showed up at 9 o'clock on Tuesday, and they said, no, we don't. But they're swearing under the pains and penalties of perjury. And I said, so a liar gets away with your system. And as you know, most systems are set up for the person, if you want it to work, is to set up for the person who would do that. Their system is not, ours is. Not that I believe we have a problem with people stealing time, but it's probably the number one thing that happens in all businesses as far as costing money. And we take it very seriously. Most people are showing up early, leaving a little late. If they're anything, they're donating time.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that you were aware of this.
If they're absent on the report that goes out the next day.
If they're absent, what they have to do is request prior to one of three things. So let's say it's a doctor's appointment. We ask them to notify us when they know about the doctor's appointment, and they fill out a slip. It's signed by the manager and sent to Human Resources. If they get sick that day, they have to call in within an hour of start time. So by 9 o'clock, they have to call in and tell us that, and they call the supervisor fills it out and submits it to Human Resources. Vacation has to be requested at least 24 hours in advance and approved. And so then every day, so we have, Human Resources has these slips that have been approved by the manager. Every day, a report comes from all the departments that says, and I think I gave you the one that has me on it for the executive office, that says who's in the office. And so as you can see on that day, Owen and Broom, I don't want to get into it, 4 people were on vacation, 1 person was sick, and these are the people there. That's reconciled on a daily basis against the slips that were already signed by managers. So on every day, we do a complete accounting for attendance. And it's been very good. I can tell you over the years I've been here, sometimes people have tried to get away with something and we've always found out.
We need a
Okay.
motion and a second, item 8.
Yeah, so move.
Second,
Motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to accept and put on file the review of the Brockton Housing Authority payroll system as presented by Mr. Tebow. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 9, adoption of board statement with regret to housing opportunities through Modernization Act, HOTMA, Exhibit F in your packets. Mr. Tebow.
Yes, HOTMA is the Housing Opportunities Through Modernization Act. I've had it in my report for probably the past year and a half. It's a major piece of regulation that has been implemented, but unfortunately, the federal software cannot support it. So they've given us deadlines that we needed to adopt certain policies, which you have done, and then said, okay, we're not ready to support those policies. So we're running the way we used to run, not the way the policies went run. So in a recent meeting with HUD Washington, I asked that question. I said, well, we're not complying with our policy. Our board approved policies say we are going under HOTMA. but we can't do hotline, as you're telling us, because of this
Yeah.
computer issue. And their recommendation was to have the board adopt a policy, a statement saying,
Mhm.
we have updated our policies, but realizing that we cannot, implement them because of this, and therefore we will as soon as HUD is ready. And that way, if an auditor comes in, especially the IG, Inspector General, and says, well, your board policy says you'll do it this way, but you're doing it under your old policy, this statement will say, the board's aware of it,
Mhm.
but as soon as HUD's ready, we'll go to the new way.
No, confusing.
It is confusing. You tell me when Dennis has his staff trained on something, it's gonna go into effect on October 1st, and then they tell us in September, no,
You can't
it's
do it.
not, maybe some other time.
Yeah.
So they're all trained up on the new way. So it is very confusing, and you know, and the river doesn't stop. The people out in the field, you know, every single day have this paper going across their desk, and at some certain point, they're supposed to change how they process that paper.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it is confusing. Thank you.
We need a motion and a second, item 9.
So moved.
Second,
Motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Janet Kraft. Motion is that Brockton Housing Authority Board of Commissioners adopt the following statement. Brockton Housing Authority will comply with the provisions of HOTMA previously adopted by the authority when HUD has developed the appropriate infrastructure to support these changes. Furthermore, any dates on our policies that were adopted with guidance from previously issued public and Indian housing notices are not controlling and will be updated when HUD issues official notification of update procedures, policies, and defined dates of issue. Until such time, the authority will use the language contained in our administrative and continued occupancy plan and our administrative plans in force prior to updates related to HOTMA. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 10, board meeting scheduled for 2025. Exhibit G in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
This schedule is prepared. These are our regular schedules with the fourth Thursday of every month, considering Christmas next year, the holiday season next year. And it doesn't look like, has it changed to on November because of Thanksgiving? Have we moved it up on Thanksgiving? No?
I don't think so.
Okay. So we put this in front of the board in case you know of any plans, you have any planned vacations. I know that Commissioner Roberts goes to the Caribbean every once in a while. Goes to Florida quite often. So if you don't, if you do know of a conflict now, we'd like to know about that. And then we'll make our plans from there. It will become, we will have a very, very busy 2025.
Does anybody have a conflict with the dates?
So I know.
not that I'm aware.
Yep, not that I'm aware.
Just with no action required on this?
No action. If there's something that, obviously, if something comes up, life happens, doctor's appointments, medical stuff, whatever, let us know as soon as possible. But we just like to have some kind of infrastructure set up so that we can plan as we go forward.
We're not world travelers like Carol.
Well, you could sit down in the Caribbean and come in via Zoom.
No.
Taylor, just one question. I don't know if you realize that Zoom ends on March of 2025, unless it gets extended.
Okay.
Jim?
I will advise the board of that. Thank you for bringing up that date.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It hasn't been coming back to us. I do want to let you know the disabilities community is really pushing to get this to be permanent, because they're arguing that to get out to these meetings for them is especially
It's
difficult. Zoom has allowed them to participate publicly.
Okay. Item 11, award of contract, HVAC, on-call repairs and maintenance, exhibit H in your packet. Yeah. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mr. DeChristopher to address this, please.
I'm sorry about getting these late. This is the bid tab sheet for this contract.
Oh,
It
okay.
wasn't ready.
You're going to have to read it for the people on Zoom, Mr. DeChristopher.
Good thing. This contract is the on-call HVAC repairs and maintenance services. On September 26th, 2024, the Brockton Housing Authority advertised for qualified HVAC contracts for the work that cannot be performed by current staff. This work was to be awarded to two responsive and responsible bidders that meet the qualifications set in the bid pack. This is a 3-year contract not to exceed $150,000 for the duration of the contract. On October 22nd, 2024, the submission deadline, we received 3 bids as reflected in the bid tally sheet. The low and only responsive bidder was Solar Tech Corp. Of Redville, Mass. Bids were advertised in Central Register Combines, the BHA website, and the Enterprise. I recommend the motion be made to award the contract in the amount not to exceed $150,000 to Solar Tech Corp. Of Redville, Mass. And I'll read off the bid tab here. So, normal hourly rate was $109 an hour. Overtime rate was $145 an hour. Weekend hourly rate was $145 an hour, and holiday hourly rate was $145 an hour, with a 35% parts markup.
We need a motion in a second. Item 11,
So moved.
Second,
motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to award a 3-year contract in the amount not to exceed $150,000 to Solar Tech Corporation of Greenville, Mass. For on-call HVAC repairs and maintenance services. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Item 12, approval of tenant accounts receivable write-offs, federal public housing, exhibit I in your packet.
If I could ask Mr. Patius to speak on this, please.
Thank you. So what you have in your packet is the vacated tenants accounts. Because we can't collect 100% of the rents that we charge, there are tenants that either leave their unit, get evicted, or through some other action, there's a balance left on their account. This particular write-off for the federal and the state and affordable housing is extremely high. And that's basically due to the lingering effects of COVID. The whole court system was put on hold for a couple of years, and through different avenues of tenant remediation with regard to other agencies paying rent and so forth, tenants didn't have to pay their rent. There were other organizations that were paying them. So once the courts opened back up again, there was a time lag as far as evicting some tenants and so forth. So because we didn't put forth a write-off last year, again, another reason as to why, the federal public housing write-offs, the state affordable housing are so high. So,
I do want to just point out, and I do, this is public information here, we don't have any names, but you'll see the numbers $11,587, $17,000, $45,000. These are numbers we have never, ever seen before. So what happened was during COVID, they shut down the courts. People decided to stop paying their rent. That's where we save tenancies in court. When a person is behind on the rent, we first have a hearing here. If they get behind there, we go into mediation at court. This went on for years. So and some people pay some pretty good rent, $1,500 a month. And they went for 30 months not paying. And so therefore, when it came time to get to court, there's no way they could ever pay back. So we have had more evictions in 2025
Mhm.
than we have had in the last 34 years previous, due to, I would say, bad public policy,
Right.
shutting down the courts.
I know I asked this before. You still try to collect this money?
We can go through a collection agency, and basically just give them the information of the tenant. You know, and if they can collect something, you'll get a fee, but it's very rare.
Usually what happens,
That's
Mr.
okay.
Chairman, we put it into the system, EIB now, we also, the credit bureaus have it. If they apply at any other housing authority, it pops up and they say to them, well, we can't accept your application until you repay the balance you owe to that housing authority. So at that time, you know, we oftentimes will get repayment agreements and sometimes large sums of money.
So the evictions, I mean, they're a done deal.
They're a
It's,
done deal, Commissioner
Yeah.
Trask. It's, our rent department is going through a very difficult time
Yes.
because they're witnessing these families being taken out. I see Officer Gosha here today. He's been at a couple of the evictions. It's not, an eviction is a horrible result. And it's not what we want. But we've been told by HUD, we've been told by the state that it's, you have to collect that money or you have to take court action.
We should have thought of that in 2020.
Yes, again, it was, we save, the quicker we can get into court, the more likely we will save a tenancy. Our goal in court is not to evict a person. In fact, I think we're probably 0% that we've ever evicted anybody going to court the first time, maybe if they shot someone. But not on rent. It's a there to go tenant preservation project is there. They work with us to address whatever issues they have to get there, but it's not, hopefully this is the last year of that and we'll be back to normal.
One final, are these people evicted now?
Yes, yeah, they vacated tenants, yep.
Not all of them. Some of them moved out and owed us a couple $100.
Yeah.
The regular little bits in here and there. When you see those numbers I just read off, though, those people.
Mhm.
so the court system is totally back to normal?
It's still a little bit confused, but it's better, yes, much better.
Can I, if these evictions take place in housing court or district?
Housing court, we're not allowed in district court.
Really?
Housing court is a social service court too. It's
Yeah.
like a drug court, you know, where they don't really want to put someone in jail in drug court. They
Yeah,
want to fix
I
the
know.
problem.
Yeah.
Housing court, they don't want to evict someone, they want to fix the problem. These problems are insurmountable.
Yeah.
And we made, these people, we made agreements with them. You pay $17,000, you pay $1,000 a month
Oh,
for 17
I believe
months, and
you.
then they don't pay us another dime.
I believe it.
So if
Okay.
money comes in at a later date, you come back to us and tell us if somebody has paid or.
Generally, we haven't done that.
No, it comes in, it goes into the,
Then-
whatever program, no, whatever program, so if they lived at Campello, it would go into federal AMP2 money. It would be recognized. So, by the way, the reason we write this off is the government, when we do our formula, when we put together and request our subsidy, they count this as cash. They say, hey, you get $17,000 there. We say, no, we'll never get that.
That's right.
So they reduce our subsidy by that amount. So we reduce, when we write this off, that will take that off the books and allow us to get the subsidy for the current residents. If they pay us back, we lose that in subsidy.
Are we pretty comparable to other housing authorities in this regard?
Yes, across the country, the urban larger housing authorities are struggling with this. HUD recognizes it. They have a shortfall program. Some housing authorities have gone into bankruptcy because of it. New York
Ooh.
City, close.
Mhm.
So yes, it is a problem across the country, and hopefully, again, that we're looking in the rearview mirror at the end of this year.
We need a motion in a second, item 12.
So move.
Second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to approve the federal public housing tenant accounts receivable write-off in the amount of $342,234.70. Any discussion or questions on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. And now we got another one.
We got two more, three more, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Item 13, approval of tenant accounts receivable write-off, state public housing, exhibit J in the packet. People?
Pick it out, Mr. Patience.
Sure, basically the same, basically, we're asking you to approve these write-offs, similar situation as the federal write-offs,
No.
not as much.
Smaller program, percentage is about the same.
We need a motion in a second, item 13.
so move.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to approve the state public housing tenants accounts receivable write-off in the amount of $121,908.13. Any discussion or questions on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 14. Approval of tenant accounts receivable write-off, affordable housing program, exhibit K in the packets. Mr. Tebow?
Look at that, Mr. Patience, the chief on this.
So these write-offs are for the Affordable Housing Program. Total amount is $33,722.36.
You did it the right way. We're really down low now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're working down.
That's one person.
Yeah.
That's just one person who's gonna pay the rent for years,
One person?
one person.
one person. For years.
Wow. We need a motion and a second, item 14.
So moved.
Second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to approve the Affordable Housing Program tenant accounts receivable write-off in the amount of $33,722.36. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 15. Approval of 2025 flat rate schedule, exhibit L in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mr. Sheedy to speak on this, please.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow. This is my fourth time coming before you with this, and you think I would have got it right by now, but as I sat there, I did notice some typos, the middle column, those are 2025 flat rents, fair market rents. I
Yeah.
didn't change that column over.
the middle, yeah.
So since 2014, the Appropriations Act, we're required to, we set flat rents at 80% of the fair market rents, and we've done that. Brockton Housing has always used 80%, and it allows families with higher incomes to pay a rent that is, it's not 30% of their adjusted, it's a little bit lower than that, so it does allow them to stay in their unit at a fair price, so to speak.
If I could just touch, because there's a philosophical issue here that this board has always adopted. So the lowest we can go is 80%. We could go 90, we could go 100%. At 80%, it recognizes that a person, that a person can save some money, and what we want to do is allow them to have their rent a little lower, so when they save some money, they can go out into the fair market.
Yeah.
We know what the fair market is in Massachusetts. It's almost impossible. I mean, we're talking $2,000-3,000 for rent,
Yeah.
for 2 and 3 bedroom units. If it's cheaper to buy, so the only way they're gonna buy is if they can save. Your policy here allows for that, it somewhat allows for that to happen within the regulations.
Just one question, Tim. Are these amounts already to 80% already added to
The
that?
2024 are the 80% for this year, then you get your fair market, you multiply the fair market by 80%, and will give you the 2025 flat rate.
Mhm.
And generally, they're about $170, give or take. 3-bedroom is the biggest increase from the year before, at $201.
We need a motion and a second, item 15.
So moved.
So moved. Second,
Janet,
She seconded.
you want to second that, Janet?
She did.
yes, I
You did.
did.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to approve the 2025 flat rent schedule for the Brockton Housing Authority Federal Public Housing Program as presented. Any discussion or questions on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. People.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
And Mr. Chairman.
Yes, motion carries unanimous.
Yeah.
Item 16, approval of addendum number 2, construction manager at risk CMAR contract, section 18, Campello High Rise Project, exhibit M in your packet. Mr. People.
If I could ask Mr. Barrett.
Thank you. Good afternoon, board members. Again, if you remember back in the CMAR contract, we had originally had them under contract for.
Can I just, we're using acronyms, it's construction manager at risk is the acronym, and it's for the Campello project. It's our construction company for the Campello project.
We contracted him back in 2022 with a request for proposal, and for the duration of pre-construction, which was scheduled for August of 2022 until August of 23. Addendum 1, we extended that to September, from September 24 through December of 24. I apologize, but the first one extended them through August of 2024. Addendum number 2 here is requesting an extension from September 2024 to December of 2024 for the construction services. Shawmut has presented this extension in a pre-construction services on an hourly basis per their original RFP. The authority believes that it is in the best interest of the authority. And this allows the authority to shut down the project as needed during the funding period. It would not to occur pre-construction costs. Because at this time right now, we are actually kind of just in a lull. We're not really using them for any of the work until we actually get up and go and get funded. This will again just kind of just shut them down on an hourly basis, as opposed to a monthly basis before. And it does, obviously, it benefits the authority much for this. Their monthly basis was $22,000 plus per month for the pre-construction. We would recommend approval of addendum number 2 to Shawmut Design and Construction for a 4-month duration on an as-need basis for pre-construction services with a not to exceed amount of $12,784,000 for the Campello High Rise Section 18 project.
One question, Chris. Are they gonna do, they're gonna do the 3 buildings plus tear down? Don't know.
They will be doing, yes. Yeah. I missed the question, but
They're gonna tear down cell phones.
They will be, yes.
And the three buildings,
The other two buildings, and build the three and tear the other two down.
Okay.
Yes.
We need a motion and a second, item 16.
Yeah, so moved.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to approve addendum number 2 to the contract with Trauma Design and Construction for a 4-month duration on an as-needed basis for pre-construction services with a not-to-exceed amount of $12,784 for the Campbell High Rise Section 18 project. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
And Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Item 17, approval of corrective change. Approval of corrective change order number 3, electric heating upgrade to Bel Air Tower, project 24-10, exhibit N in the packet. Mr. Tebow?
I could ask Mr. Barrett to speak on this.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow. Back at our September 24 board meeting, change order 3 was approved in the amount of $81,149.55 by the board. However, due to a clerical error on the board memo, change order number 3 should have been presented in an accepted amount of $88,149.55. The change order attached to the original memo had the correct amount of $88,149.55. The error was simply related to the cover memo, and this vote would reconcile the two. I ask that the board accept the correction to the clerical error. Would recommend to accept the correction of the clerical error on change order number 3 to $88,149.55 from Hub Electric Incorporated of 10 Draper Street in Woburn, Mass.
We need a motion and a second, item 17.
so moved.
Second.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trapp, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to approve change order number 3 in the amount of $88,149.55 to the contract with Hub Electric Incorporated of Woburn, Mass. for the electric heating upgrades at Bel Air Tower, project 24-10. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
And Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Item 18, approval of section 8 fraud write-offs, exhibit O in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mr. Pacius to speak on this.
Thank you. So what you have in front of you is participants in the Section 8 program that were identified with, I guess, income information issues and so forth that were found out about the time of their recertification. So when that happens, what they do is they set up an agreement, a payment plan with the Section 8 department to pay off this balance, the amount of rent they should have been paying. And what happens in some of these cases is that they discontinue paying on the agreement, and then there's some action taken against them. They're given multiple opportunities to try to renegotiate their agreement. However, these people either left the program for whatever reason, and these balances have been sitting there for quite some time. So this is the first time we've ever brought a Section 8, what they call fraud write-offs, to the board for approval. So it's all within the Section 8 program.
it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It is, and Commissioner Trask, we're being incentivized. Our auditors came in about 10 years ago and said, you're not finding enough fraud. You need to take more effort to do this. So we actually created a position that does it, and we found quite a few people are just lying about what their income is. And so they do that, they then owe us money, we get 50% of whatever we can collect. The other 50% goes to HUD. By writing this off, we just don't have an opportunity to get this 50%. But these people have left, they might have made 10 payments and then left the program altogether. Most people are leaving voluntarily. With it. But
Who has that job to find out about fraud?
Camilla.
Camilla?
So what
Wow.
happens, first go through and find that there's an issue, they refer them to Camilla. Camilla goes in and does an agreement with them. We have quite a few agreements, people pay it back. Then they do it again, and they pay it back, and they do it again. I would hope the word would get out there, because right now we have this thing called enterprise income verification. It shows up and tells us exactly what they're earning.
So they
He's got a
pay
tough job.
when they're making 22.
Right, yeah, and then the difference has to set up to agree.
Remember, if we don't calculate our rents right, if we overcharge someone,
Yeah.
we get in just as much trouble as if we undercharge. They want the subsidy to be calculated in accordance with the regulations. That's why our auditors some time ago said, you're not doing it, you need to do more of it.
It's just it's a lot of money for them right now, between all three of them.
Oh, yeah,
all
oh, yeah.
four.
We did, you've already, in your previous budget anticipated, it's called, an allowance for bad debts.
Right.
Yeah.
You've already anticipated it, so it won't change our books by much.
Right, and with section 8, the way HUD requires us to account for this, it's not gonna have any effect on the financial statements, because we only recognize any kind of money received, or the right, any kind of money received once we receive the cash. So it's different than public houses.
So once this is approved, this is just written off.
They're
It's,
all in the EFE.
yeah, it's basically, it's already set, it's put up in an allowance account. When we set up the agreement, it's set up in an allowance account that offsets the actual agreement. And as we collect money on that agreement, that's when it gets recognized. So,
Mr. Chairman, if I could just add,
Yeah.
every section 8 participant, when they leave the program, if they owe us money, it is put into the federal system so that if they ever apply somewhere else, it's gonna
It's there.
stand that they owe this money to the Brockton.
Wow.
You
It's
get paid
there.
back then.
Either that or they don't get their voucher in Chicago or whatever.
Yep.
So it haunts them forever.
Well, they have to pay it.
We need a motion and a second, item 18.
So moved. Or second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to approve section 8 fraud write-off in the amount of $198,385.86. Any discussion or questions on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 19, approval of Brockton Housing Authority satellite dish installation policy, exhibit P in the packet. Mr. Tebow.
Yeah.
Ms.
There it is.
Ms. Campbell apologizes, she has a medical day today, but she is our compliance officer. She's gone through all our policies and she's posting them on our website. One thing that she found is a satellite dish installation policy previously adopted by this board did not have a date on it, and that's a requirement for the state. We searched our records, could not find a good date, and so therefore it's more of an administrative thing to bring it back and have the board adopt it, and we will then enter this date on there and post it on our website.
Okay.
We need a motion and a second, item 19.
So moved.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to adopt the Brockton Housing Authority satellite dish installation policy effective November 21st, 2024. Any questions or discussion on the motion?
How many people have satellite dishes?
It's not as much as it used to be, but especially in the families, people, non-English speaking people use the satellite dishes to get to, their language.
Yeah.
I
Television.
see.
Our problem was really with the installers. They would just come and nail it into the side of the building, screw through the roofs, cause leaks. So we're not preventing it. We're just saying when it comes to it, you can't do that. It was horrible. If you ever went up to Walnut Turner prior to us doing the siding there, it was just, they had almost torn the building down.
Wow.
We did not vote it. We correctly.
No roll call, no, we need a roll call.
We need a roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
And Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Item 20, review of financial comparative, exhibit Q in the packet. Mr. Tebow.
If I could ask Mr. Patrius to speak on this, please.
Thank you. So the financial statements that you have in your board packet reflect the first 9 months of activity here at the Brockton Housing Authority. We're going into our last quarter, October, November, and December. And the program's pretty much running where we would like to see them be. But if you have any questions, I'd be more than willing to answer them.
Just one on the state deficits.
Sure.
I know one is 401,000.
Yep.
As always.
What is that Rainbow Terrace and Kennedy Drive?
That's the,
Golden Circle too?
Holly,
Crosby.
yeah, it's
Right.
Haley Street, Kennedy Drive, North Ave, Crosby Ave, Walnut,
yep. what's
Golden Circle. So it's combination, the deficit is a combination of all of those sites. So,
It's almost exclusively related to vacancy turnover. We have submitted information to the state. We're talking to them about getting reimbursement for those vacancies. Because the apartments are so old and we're averaging about $7,000 per vacancy. So just multiply that out times, 45, 50, and you see where that's coming from. The state is very open to it, but we do need to get that settled by the end of the year.
Yeah.
We believe we will.
It looks good on the first page.
yeah.
Well, that's our argument, Mr. Chairman, and it's been made multiple times that, we have agency after agency, and we're not the only ones in Bedford, Taunton. I just had a discussion with Taunton about this. So your federal program's doing fine. Wonderful, right? And we're managing other places that are doing fine. It's just this one program. And it's because of the lack of subsidy to it. So they're supposed, and they know this, they know it, and I don't want to criticize them too much because Massachusetts does more than any other state in the country. They've created, there's 45,000 units they're supporting across the state.
Yeah.
But they support it at about a half of what the feds do.
Yeah.
And the feds are telling us we're not getting enough money to take care of the capital issues.
We need a motion and a second, item 20.
So move.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to accept the financial comparative for the period ending September 30, 2024, and put on file. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 21, Executive Director's Report, Exhibit R in the packet. Mr. Tebow.
So we had our HUD inspections of our family developments and we did well there. We received a 95%. Those go up and then down, but
Mhm.
95% was very good. There are new inspection protocols for smoke detectors at Hill Street. When we put them in, the smoke detectors were in the hallway. They're now required to be in each bedroom, so we've had to address that. We addressed it at each unit, and Mr. Barry has that in his capital plan to update it so that it complies with that. The vibrancy committee, they are vibrant as ever. In fact,
Mhm.
sometimes they have to put some rings on them. They'd like to do something every day. They do a great. You can see
Good
just
for
some
them.
smiling faces at, the different family sites when they did the pumpkin,
Mhm.
painting. They're going to do a Christmas event or holiday event where they'll do some arts and crafts and they'll have hopefully a fire truck come around with Santa Claus on it.
That's nice.
So, and then they'll do some stuff in the elderly, disabled places, going from place to place. So that they're doing a great job. I have very good on, the Campello project. Last night, the Conservation Commission approved our, terms and conditions for that site, so we're moving ahead there.
Wonderful.
On Monday, we had a phone call with Mass Housing. They would be the person that give us tax credits. They were very, very positive. They told us to get going. This was a priority project. Mr. Barry just said, we're in pause. Well, we decided that last month. It looks like we're back into race. In
Mhm.
fact, we had a meeting this morning with our architects and with our construction people and put together a very aggressive calendar to schedule to get what's called the gross maximum price approved by you in April. The gross maximum price, we're gonna negotiate with Shawmut. And the gross maximum price is where we put things out to bid, they come back in, and then we negotiate. What's the maximum amount of money that this can go into? So some risk there. That's why it's the construction manager at risk. So let's say we say, I'm gonna use, in the big numbers, $100 million, probably about $65 million, but $100 million, they say, we say, no, it's 90. They want it as high as possible, we want it as low as possible. If it goes too low, we could kill them, and that's not good, but that's what a gross maximum price. Once we get that, we will be committing that to the state. The state will go through their process, and we could be closing on phase one as early as the end of the second quarter, which would be June, or the beginning of the third quarter, which would be July, August for this. So it's very, very good news. I temper it with, I don't know how politics would affect this. I don't think in Massachusetts it would much. But whether the change in administrations in Washington could push something down, I don't know. But I always have one eye open to that kind of stuff. But it's very, very, very good news. It was surprising news. I told the chairman, I expected the phone call to be them challenging us on our numbers. Why are you doing it this way? Can't you do it that way? And it was not that at all. It was, we see the priority. We've read your review. We agree we need to get these buildings built and those other two torn down as soon as possible.
So you bear good news.
It's the best news we could have ever expected, Commissioner Trask.
And School on Wheels is at Hillside Village now?
Yes, want to speak to that, Mr. Sheedy?
Yes, I met with School on Wheels. We had an open house back at the beginning of November, end of October. We set aside a room over there. It used to be a computer lab that we've emptied out, and
Oh, yeah.
it's an ideal room for the students to come in and they one-on-one with the tutor. We probably had, I would say, about 20 kids signed up, so we're very enthused to get this program underway at Hillside, and hopefully in the future we can incorporate some other family sites.
Yeah.
And I can say that I went to the gala on Friday night for School on Wheels, and it is a very it was very touching what they do and the amount of families and kids that they reach is impressive. It's an organization that is, they work specifically with homeless families since they were incorporated until now, and now they're going out into public housing. We're one of the first ones, and we're more than excited to.
That's great. Wow.
Wow.
And that's my report. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Just one. The demolition of the cell tower. In here, it's but
So we put in a grant to Mass Development for, I believe, $110,000. And they came back and said, you know, great application, but we got hundreds of them. We couldn't fund them all at once. Hopefully it's a timing issue and we'll resubmit and go through. But we do have other funds that we were awarded that we could do it with. But we're applying, Mr. Chairman, we're applying, if something comes up and we can get $50, we'll put an application in for it.
so that's not gonna slow you down.
No.
We need a motion in a second, item 21.
So moved?
Carol
Give it-
Beecher,
Second.
a motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to accept the executive director report on November 21st, 2024, and put on file. Any discussion or questions on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chair.
Yes. Motion carried, unanimous. Item 22, old business. Any old business? Hearing none. Item 23, new business. Any new business?
Mr. Chairman, do you want to speak about the timing of the next meeting?
Yes,
So,
what we're trying to do is move the meeting on the December meeting on the 19th to 12 noon instead of 2 o'clock. Janet, I know you have a doctor's appointment. Can you
Yeah,
maybe-
so the 1 o'clock, I thought, on the second, round, it was 1 o'clock, but no, that doesn't work for you, Tim.
No, it doesn't.
Okay,
I got a doctor's appointment that I had to be at. It's about an
Okay.
hour away from my house.
okay. Well, if I'm late, I guess it's for my husband and he has a cardiac appointment that day too, so, and I don't think we can change it, so I guess,
You can
I
still come
hope-
in and then Tom Tebow will bring you up to date.
okay, so if I'm late, I'm sorry, but, that's what we'll do.
We'll be okay as long as we have a, Taylor, can you be there at noontime?
Originally said yes, and now I don't know. I was gonna
Okay.
talk to Tom after.
All right, if we can't, so if noontime doesn't work for Commissioner Trask or Commissioner Harris, we either have to change the day, and then later doesn't work for Commissioner Sullivan. So that's we have the 19th, that's a Thursday.
This is the 19th,
Yeah, I mean, we could do it on Friday.
the 20th.
the 20th.
Does the 20th work for the board members?
I'm not sure, let me,
It's a Friday, the 20th. How about you, Taylor, on the 20th, Friday?
I'm not sure yet. So in short, I just actually took a new position.
Okay,
So my whole life is changing come December 16th. So
okay.
Well, congratulations. I hope that was a
Thank
good
you.
Yeah.
step up.
yes,
Use
step
your
up.
new Promotionary?
Promotion.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I think the 20th is okay for me.
When it's okay for you, Commissioner Sullivan
Yes, it is.
and Roberts?
So we have a quorum for the 20th. And if you can come in, Taylor, Tom Tebow will put you up to date, everything that's happening. It's
Yep.
at 2 o'clock on the 20th.
Yep, let's book it for that and I'll let you know.
Okay,
She'll see what her new world is like.
Yeah, I won't know till that week what my schedule's gonna look like.
All right,
Well,
I
good
have-
luck. Good luck,
Thank
Taylor.
you.
Yeah,
yeah.
congratulations, Tim.
Thank you.
Any other new business? Item 24. Need a motion and a second for adjournment.
No. No move.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. The motion is to adjourn. Roll call, Mr. Debo.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Meeting adjourned.